Hi, this is Miss Nancy at the Crown Point Community Library. Today, I'm bringing the library into your home with Peeking Through the Pages. The book I'm sharing with you today is called The Elephant in the Room, and it's written by Holly Goldberg Sloan and published by Dial Books for Young Readers. Now, I've decided today we're not starting with the first chapter. I'm going to read chapter 7 to you. So in order to do that, I need to tell you a little bit about what happens before chapter 7. This character here, this girl, her name is Selah. Selah lives with her mom and dad in the United States. But in our story, Selah's mom has been sent back to Turkey. She is sent back to Turkey because she doesn't have the correct paperwork filled out to live in the United States and to work in the United States. So she's back in Turkey, and Selah misses her very much. She hasn't been home for a long, long time. So right now Selah is living with her dad, and her dad is a mechanic, and they meet a man named Gio whose truck is broken down. So they go to Gio's house to help him fix his truck. And Gio lives all by himself. His wife has died. But one wonderful thing that happened is that he and his friends from work all won the lottery. So in the story, you're going to find out a little bit about what he does with the money that he won from the lottery. I'm going to start with chapter 7. This is right before you meet this character. And I know that's who you really want to meet. So if you enjoy chapter 7, you may want to check the book out at the library. So let's get started. Gio had let it slip out that the next day was his birthday. Selah hoped he wasn't going to spend it alone. He had seemed vague when she asked, so they made a plan. They would meet in the morning before school for donuts at Gio's favorite breakfast spot, the Hole-in-One Bakery. He had explained to them, it's not really a bakery because they only sell donuts. It's run by two sisters, Margot and Mayo. They don't keep regular hours, and they sell whatever they've made, then they close for the day. Alp knew the Hole-in-One, but he had never been inside. They have the huge parking lot, Gio said. I think they lose money making donuts, but they hold a flea market on the property once a month. Truckers know the place because it's so easy to park. That night, Selah looked it up online. A review said, not far off the highway, you can get a decent dunker and park anything there. It was rainy and windy outside when Selah and her father walked in to find the lottery winner staring into the glass case at the maple bars. It smelled like cinnamon and sugar, and Selah wondered if it was possible to make a perfume with the odor of a donut shop. She could imagine it being a bestseller. Gio had brought 3 coffee mugs from home. At the Hole-in-One, they gave 10 cents off for bringing in your own drink container. Gio said he was doing it to help the planet, not to save 30 cents. He and Alp ordered coffee. Selah asked for hot chocolate. They each picked out donuts. Selah had made Gio a birthday card, and she gave it to him while Alp paid the cashier. Gio read out loud what Selah had written inside. May this be your best year yet. He thanked her, and she thought he looked genuinely happy as he slipped the card in his pocket of his yellow jacket. They had just found seats by the window when 3 very large trucks pulled up into the oversized parking lot. 2 of the 3 were the kind of transporters that could carry very heavy loads. Both of these vehicles had been customized with a foot of open metal grating at the top on 3 of the 4 sides. These openings appeared to be designed to let in air. But why? An old school bus, painted purple and green, motored into the lot behind the trucks. The bus was followed by 2 dented passenger vans, 3 SUVs, and 5 packed pickup trucks. Behind the counter, Margot could hear grumbling. Prepare for an invasion. She was no longer fixated on her hot chocolate. Selah was no longer fixated on her hot chocolate or cream-filled donut. She stared out the window. The rain was coming down hard as the doors of the vehicles opened and people started to spill out. Lots of people. Gio caught Selah's eye. This could be interesting. They weren't disappointed. The new arrivals were a lively bunch, dressed in bright clothing with imaginative hairstyles, arms of tattoos, and rattling metal jewelry. A disproportionate number of the crowd wore hats and carried overflowing shoulder bags. 6 poodles, dyed purple and pink, came out of one of the vans. In several minutes, more than 50 people were waiting to use the coffee shop bathroom. Those who didn't take a place in the crooked line headed to the glass counter and eyed the pastry with real enthusiasm. The group was loud. They talked and horsed around in a way that Seela decided meant many of them had to be related. It wasn't long before they were moving chairs, sitting in clusters, or standing to argue while eating donuts and gulping coffee. Seela was eager to know more about the group when a man close to Gio's age, with tangled long curls and silver hair, came over and pointed to an empty chair. He asked, "Anyone sitting there?" Gio responded, "It's reserved for you." The man lowered himself down with obvious relief onto the red cushion of the metal chair. Seela tried not to eyeball the guy, but it was impossible. The newly arrived traveler had silver rings on all his fingers, even his thumbs. He wore an orange scarf around his neck, a green army jacket, and faded striped pants, which were tucked into old yellow rain boots. Seela wanted to say something, but was grateful when Gio did it for her by asking, "Where's your group headed?" The man took a big bite of his cinnamon twist and answered with his mouth full, "Nowhere really fast." The man swallowed. "Just finished our last booking." Seela stared back out the window at the vehicles. She read the words painted on the side of one of the trucks. "The Brio Family Circus." She found herself asking, "So you're all in a circus?" For the next 15 minutes, they heard that the Brio family, along with some of the non-Brio employees, had traveled the country for almost 32 years. But while Chester Brio said he would like to keep moving from town to town, entertaining small communities, never big cities, they weren't intended for that kind of crowd. His employees, who were his children, cousins, former wives, and other stakeholders in the operation, had different ideas. In Klamath Falls, the Brio Circus members had taken a vote, as the ringmaster, Chester, insisted that his single ballot count for 10, but even that hadn't made a difference. They'd come to the decision to stop performing at the end of the month, sell off what they could, and each go on their way. So they were, as Chester said, getting ready to close down the Big Top for good. Seela hadn't taken a single bite of her donut since the man opened his mouth. Gio saw the look on her face, a mixture of fascination and intrigue, and he went to the cash register and paid the bill for the whole group. It was donuts and coffee on Giovanni Gardino. This act of generosity and the fact that Seela explained it was Gio's birthday led Chester to invite Seela, Alp, and Gio out to meet another longtime member of the Brio Circus. The rain had tapered off to a sprinkle, and the sun was poking through a hole in the thick clouds as the group followed the circus man out the door of the donut shop and into the large parking lot. A rainbow suddenly appeared in the sky. It formed an arch high above their heads that felt to Seela like destiny as Chester opened the back of the largest truck, because that's when Seela met Veda. Okay, so that's a little bit of The Elephant in the Room by Holly Goldberg Sloan. Now, if you were to continue reading this, you'll learn more about what's in the back of that truck. You'll also meet a boy named Mateo, who becomes friends with Seela, and find out more about what happens to Seela's mom and what happens with Gio and this animal. I really enjoyed this book. This was a great one. It kept my attention. I kept wanting to read it every chance I got, and I hope you'll come check it out at the library because it's a wonderful book. Thanks so much for listening to the story, and remember to visit our website, www.crownpointlibrary.org. Have a wonderful day.